Hi everybody, welcome to Mona Lisa Reads, and as you can probably guess, I am Mona Lisa. And today I am planning on doing a wrap-up of what I read, more like what I didn't read in the month of October, and what I've been working on this month of November. I realize it's halfway through, but my computer has not wanted to record, so I've been having issues in getting this video out, so I apologize. But I'm going to discuss what I've been reading this month and how I kind of hope to finish out the month of November. So, let's get going. As I mentioned in my October TBR video, I was looking forward to the upcoming weekend because it was my birthday. I had plans with my husband to do some shopping and to go to the beach, and I was hoping to read some and, sushi for dinner. And, my brother, being the loving brother that he is, got me sick for my birthday. He legit texted me, "Hey, so you got your birthday present though?" And I was like, "I did," thinking he had left it somewhere in my house. And he goes, "Yeah, I got you sick." He loves me. He really does. I think. So, anyway, so by the time we got home from the couple things we had done, I did not feel like reading, and I did not read for basically the next week. I just did not feel good. You know how you're kind of recovering and just not in the mood. So reading was not my forte in the month of October. So let's talk about the books I had on my list. Dracula, didn't read. Frankenstein, nope, not even close. Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book? Yeah, right. Sauerkraut? Looked good on the shelf. Didn't touch it. So basically, everything for the most part that I had planned to read for the month did not happen. I did pick at the very end of the month, after I kind of recouped, 2 short books so that I would at least have something to talk about in a monthly wrap-up. So I did read Golden Line by Jimmy Cajoles. Don't know. Name's on the screen again. I had heard something about this book that made me a bit weary about reading it and the road it was going to go down. It did go down that road, not as bad as it could have, or what I was thinking it was going to be, or that I've seen done in books or movies with this road. I'm planning on doing a review on this book because it brought up some things that I wanted to talk about. And another thing that I wanted to talk about in a review is this book went places I was not expecting. It was a surprise, and a delightful surprise at that. I was anticipating it going certain ways, and one of the ways it kind of did, not exactly the way I thought it would. And that also meant that another part of it didn't go away that I thought it would. So the way that the path that this book took was not the path I was expecting, which made me enjoy this book quite a bit, much more than I was anticipating, especially after somebody had made a note on my October TBR. They had just read it, and I was like, "Oh, that piece that you just shared, I'm not probably gonna like," which I didn't like, but it, like I said, it wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, so that was a good thing. So I finished it, and I actually enjoyed it, so that was a good thing. The other short book that I finished was Coraline by Neil Gaiman, and this book, I've seen the movie, but I had not read it, so I was really looking forward to reading it, and I enjoyed it. I would almost, I don't know, I have to rewatch the movie, but I think I like them kind of equal parts. Typically, I tend to like a book more than I like the movie. There's only been one book where I liked the movie better. That made sense. So, there's one book I've read that I did not like at all. Movie, a million times better. We'll discuss that. Maybe I'll reread it. I don't know. Anyway, Coraline, I enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing a review video on this one with a couple of others. And I liked it. It was short, it was easy to read, but it still had some creep value to it. I'm not a big, scary, creepy person, so this was good enough for me. And I really enjoyed it. This is not my favorite cover. I like the one where it's the white with the house in the background and Coraline standing in the front, and that's all. Ooh, I'm so sorry. And Coraline is standing in the front with the cat on the brick wall or something. I like that cover a lot better. The artwork in here, it was okay. Not my favorite, but it was still good. So that is what I read in the month of November or October. So what do I plan to read in the month of November? Well, I would love to finish Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks, the booktuber and self-publisher, her self-pubbed book. But I'm already behind everything else, and I was going to do a nonfiction November, so I may be popping this in between reading the nonfiction stuff just for kind of a break from that. But yeah, this was on my October TBR. Didn't get to it. Once I got sick. And the disappointing thing was it was getting good. The pace was picking up. I was enjoying what was happening. I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen next. I have some theories, and then I got sick, and I legit have not touched this book in a month. So I would like to read this, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Speaking of would like to read, I heard a term in the past month that I was like, that is more realistic for me. So the term TBR, it's okay, but to me, in my mind, it's concrete. Like, this is going to be read. And I understand people say, this is my plan, but we'll see what I get to. But to me, it just seems like concrete. And then I heard MBR might be read. I was like, brilliant. That's exactly how I feel about it. I might get to this. I might not. We'll just see what the month holds for me. So I was going to start doing MBRs. And then I realized, let's be real, Chris. It is more like a WLR, would like to read. So that is going to be my new term of what I'm going to put on my videos. October, LWR, would, or WLR. I'm trying to do this in one take. I feel like for me, that's going to be more realistic in what you guys can expect from me. This is what I would like to read within the month. Whether or not that happens, like I said, we're just going to have to see what life throws at me and what I'm able to get to. Last week, we had some stuff that we had to do, take care of. Didn't get a lot of reading done, to be perfectly honest. So this week, I'm trying to play catch up. So you're going to be getting the WLRs for me, would like to read. So just a heads up. And if you like that term and you want to use it, feel free, because by golly, I feel like that's the most realistic thing for me. So there you go. Another book that I did not get to last month and would love to be able to crack open this month, but probably will not due to everything else on my would like to read list. Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. I want to know what happens to Aragon and Sphere and how it ends. I just don't see it's going to happen. So if by some miracle I finish Peace and Turmoil in between, kind of, giving myself a break from the nonfiction, I will crack open Inheritance, but I don't see that happening either. So what in reality is more likely going to happen? Well, I have already started reading American Sniper by Chris Kyle. He was a Navy SEAL sniper. He has been accredited with the most kills as a sniper. And this is his autobiography. It talks about him growing up in Texas. He wanted to be a rancher, but he also really wanted to be in the military. Long story short, obviously he makes it in. And it talks about his journey of becoming a Navy SEAL and meeting his wife and having a family. And right now I'm just past halfway. And he's in Iraq doing his job. every so often his wife pops in a little bit of information about what she was going through at home. I'm enjoying it so far. At times it's technical because he talks about different guns or military protocol or just what was happening. And sometimes, because I don't know all the different guns and stuff, it kind of loses me and I get kind of pulled out. But I'm enjoying it. I'm liking hearing, and he's very real. He's very, he likes the cursey words, and he just kind of lays it all out. He's kind of a no bull type of guy, or was, and so I'm enjoying it. I'm liking his point of view of the war and what he did, and I understand the war in Iraq can still be a controversial topic, but like I've said before, we need to be reading things about the past, about other people, to understand things better so that we don't repeat things that weren't so good and whatnot. So that's what I'm doing. Another thing I'm going to be working on is the big, gigantic women's letters book. This is edited by Lisa Grunwald and Stephen J. Adler. I showed this book in one of my book hauls, and I'm excited to read this one. Like I mentioned before, it spans a wide amount of years. It's a very thick book. And I believe it starts in the mid-1700s, if I remember correctly. It's broken down into different periods of time. So I believe, if I remember correctly, it starts in the mid-1700s. And I know it goes to 1799 in the first section, and that goes to about page 82, 83. And so my goal for this month is to read that first section of letters. I'm super excited about this because I can't imagine the women that I'm going to meet in this time period. It makes more sense for me to know from like 1850s on to kind of know a lot more of them, but before that time period, I'm not sure who I'm going to meet, and so I'm looking forward to reading the letters of these different women and seeing who I meet and learning more about their lives, and kind of getting another perspective on what life was like for women a couple hundred years ago. So women's letters is on my list. Another one that I really want to and plan on finishing this month, running out of time, is Agatha Christie's autobiography. I mentioned in my last book haul that I love Agatha Christie and super geeked out on finding some under her pseudonym, under the other name she used, Mary Westmacott. Totally geeked out. Now, before I found those and geeked out over those books, I geeked out over finding this book. I have been looking for her autobiography for about a year, and I didn't want to have to buy it brand new, so kept looking, finally found it at our library's bookstore, and I got it for like $1.50, I believe. So excited. It was an automatic buy. There was no question in my mind. Now, she's seen some better days, and she actually does have a cover on her that's seen better days, so I don't want to do any more damage to it, so I've taken it off and I'm just going to read it. I do have a plan for next year. I'm going to read the whole Tommy and Tuppence series at the beginning of the year, and then I'm going to be reading other books. I believe it's every other month for the rest of the year. And so I wanted to read her autobiography because I know she took things from her life and put them into her books. So like she worked in a pharmacy during the war. Her knowledge and understanding of poisons came from that. She went to excavating trips. There's Leia. Excavating trips with her second husband, Malouin, forget his first name, to Iraq. So that's where she got some of her stories, and she did traveling. And so I'm interested to reread her biography and then try to, see if I can spot her things from life influencing let me try this again. how the things in her life influenced her and how she put them in her books. So gonna do this quick reread before I start diving back into Agatha Christie novels. I'm super excited about this. I love her, if you couldn't figure that out from my book haul. Okay, another book that I know for sure will not be finished this month. It's a book that I'm going to take my time on reading, but I am buddy reading it with somebody from my church. Hi, Austin. We were talking about books, and we got talking about C.S. Lewis, and he was reading his book Miracles, and I said, well, I think I have that book, but I'm not sure, but I for sure am reading Mere Christianity in the month of November. Mere Christianity came about during World War II. C.S. Lewis would do radio broadcasts about the gospel and the hope of Christ and things. And this was a big deal in Britain at the time because it was offering hope in a very dark time for them. They were experiencing the Blitz. Soldiers were being, sent off to war and dying. Dunkirk, I mean, come on. So they were experiencing a lot of hardship during the war and making lots of sacrifices, the victory gardens and stuff. And he did these radio broadcasts and they brought a lot of hope to the people. And so after the war, these different radio broadcasts were put together into the book Mere Christianity. And it's I started reading it several years ago and never finished it, so I want to revisit it. It just puts in very simple but deep words, what is Christianity, what we believe, and I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, so back to my train of thought. Mere Christianity just basically breaks down Christianity and God and why you should believe in God. And the thing I love about C.S. Lewis is he's deep without going over your head. So the thing that a lot of people love about C.S. Lewis is he speaks like the common person. He doesn't speak in huge theological terms that people don't understand. It's simple English, but with a lot of depth to what he's saying. So Austin and I are going to read this and then we're going to talk about it. I may do a live. Sorry, Leia's just going up. I may do a live with him to discuss it. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. I know that may not be the type of book for everybody, but there may be some people in here who would enjoy that. And like I said, I am a Christian, and that's going to come up on this channel with the books that I read. And if you don't want to hear about it, it's okay to skip over it. I won't be offended. But if you listen to it or you read anything that I read along that lines and you have questions, want to talk about it, I'm open for that too. So, moving on. I am a mood reader. So it's kind of hard for me to be planning a would like to read list, but I also need to have some sort of a plan for this channel. So knowing that I'm a mood reader, if I have time, these are books that are possible reads for me if I'm in the mood for it and I have the time. The Millionaire Next Door. My husband and I have done the Dave Ramsey plan, and we budget all of our money, and we invest, and the whole 9 yards, and it's always wise to be reading books about life things, like the Marie Kondo, organizing things, about self-improvement, self-help books, money, raising children, marriage. So this book I, again, started, haven't finished it, so I figured if I have time this month and I'm in the mood for a money book, which I'm kind of am, kind of not, I could pick this one up. So we'll see if we get to Millionaire Next Door. This book I have read. Okay, so I have also mentioned that we've dealt with infertility and that we are adopting. And one book that was required reading was The Connected Child. And it was by Dr. Purvis. She has since passed away. And David Cross. And Wendy Lyons Sunshine. I read this book several years ago. There's possibility we're changing some stuff in our adoption plan. And so there's a possibility of maybe having a child join us in the next year. And I just felt it would be good to reread this. If I don't get to it this month, I am going to be rereading it soon just because I feel the need to be doing it. This says, the adoption of a child is always a joyous moment in the life of a family. Some adoptions, though, present unique challenges. Welcoming these children into your family and addressing their special needs requires care, consideration, and compassion. And this book just talks about things to be aware of and to consider as you're adopting. It does discuss like infant adoption, but also older children. And I don't think as someone who would like to adopt children that I can be educated enough. There's so much, I mean, as a parent, you can't be educated enough. There's always stuff to be learning. And as an adopted parent, we face different challenges in a lot of ways just because of the situation. So educating myself and just rereading this, I think, is going to be good for the journey we are on. And another book that I shared in my book haul was Escape on the Pearl. This was written by Mary K. Ricks. Yes, Mary K. I'm sorry for the very awkwardness of it. I hope to get to this one, but I'm going to be very realistic and say it's probably not going to happen. I mean, I'm looking at everything else and knowing that it's the 17th of November as I'm filming this. I'm hoping to get it out on Friday the 18th. I just don't see this one happening. I really, really want to get to it, but I'm going to be realistic. It's not going to happen. But maybe I'm in the mood for it when I finish all, Agatha Christie and the American Sniper and, feel like this is the next book I go to. So that is what I would like to read in the month of November. I'm realizing to be able to have some content on here, I'm going to have to somehow figure out picking up my reading. And fortunately, I have a very awesome, encouraging husband who is willing to work with me to do what I need to do to be able to read more books, to be able to give you content, and to be able to do this. So I am, just be patient with me. Like I said in my newbie tag video, this is all new to me. I'm trying to figure it out, and I still have to be a wife, and I still have other obligations and other things that I'm having to focus and get done right now. And I'm throwing this into the mix of life. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get it all to balance out. And it's probably going to take me some time. I will say I am up to 49 subscribers as of the making of this video. And as you know, if you've been following me, when I reach 100, we will be doing, or I will be announcing this series idea that I've had in my brain that I'm getting more and more excited about because I'm getting closer to the 100 subscribers. And many of you have mentioned, I want to know what it is. So I promise it's coming soon. My hope is that by the end of this year, I will have the 100 subscribers so that we can start this series in the new year. And I've actually started making plans of my reading for next year, and I'm being very cognizant of the fact that I need to leave space for the series to be there. But I would really, really love to have 51 subscribers between now and the end of the year, so at the beginning of the year I can announce my idea and we can come up with the game plan of how to start the series out. So I want to just thank everybody who has subscribed and is excited with me about what this thing could be and being involved with it. And if you are watching but you haven't subscribed, come on, it's one little button, index finger, a little moving of the mouse, and you can do it. I know you can. Come on, join us. It'll be fun. Okay, I'm being ridiculous now. But no, seriously, if you haven't watched and you just haven't subscribed yet, please do. Please consider it. I really don't want to start this out without less than 100 subscribers. I think if we can have good participation in this, it'll make it a lot more fun for everybody. And another thing I wanted to add, and then we'll be done, is at the end, oh my gosh, it's 28 minutes on here. I still have to edit, but still. Another thing I want to add is, because I am going to be doing the Tommy and Tuppence series with Chas. Sorry, I mentioned him, but only once. And I'm going to be reading other Agatha Christie books. I am thinking about starting up a Discord so that we could do buddy reads of the Tommy and Tuppence series and other Agatha Christie books. There's other books that, down the road I would love to add to have conversations about on Discord. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I will get it set up. I am on Discord. I just don't have my own page, but I'm more than willing to set that up. So let me know. And with that being said, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know you have plenty of other options of things to do. Raking the leaves, picking up the mail, doing the dishes, or reading a book. So thank you for spending your time with me. It is greatly appreciated. Do all the YouTube thingies. Like if you liked this video. Subscribe so that you can get me to 100 so we can do this thing. And if you want to know when my videos do come out, just hit the notification bell and it'll let you know. Oh, and I'm switching from Tuesdays to Fridays for my weekly videos, just so you know. So anyways, go read a good book and let me know what it is you're reading. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.